Welcome back to the Fighters Corner podcast for another podcast epi. In today's episode, we brought back Mr. Miguel Iturrate from sunny Costa Rica, and we sat down and previewed UFC 241, which is scheduled to be a great and fantastic card. We can't wait for it to happen. Plenty good fights. In this podcast episode, we even talk a little bit about the odds, and if you pay attention to it, the odds are really, really close. So what does that translate to? Exciting fights. So guys, sit back and enjoy the podcast. Hit like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. We love you. Enjoy the show. So who are you taking in this weekend's fights? I know who I got, and it's not who you think. So I'm going to take my picks over to the world's safest and most trusted online gambling site and make a few bets. That's right, it's BetDSI.com. With more than 20 years experience in the online gaming industry, BetDSI has the best sign-up and deposit promotions on the web. They also boast more deposit options than any other betting site, including fast, free, and secure payouts. Also, for our listeners, they are offering a special promotion where you can build a bigger bankroll and get 100% sports cash bonus when using our promo code Fighters Corner, all one word. That's 50% more sports cash by using our promo code Fighters Corner. Check out BetDSI for all your online gaming needs.
This episode is sponsored by B2 Digital. B2 Digital is doing some really cool things in the mixed martial art world. They're kind of creating a farm league for the bigger shows, and they are listed on a publicly traded company, listed on the stock exchange, BTDG on the stock exchange. They support our show. Guys, please, if you guys like this show, please give them a look, and if you can throw some support their way, man, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Also, please don't forget to subscribe, hit like, share, all because you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Radio Player, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and the guy sitting next to you on the train is probably listening to us too. And if you can, show us your support by finding us on Patreon, where you can let us know how much you love us. And if you're a fan of boxing, jiu-jitsu, kumite, and even capoeira, go check out my guys at UCL MMA. These guys are the heavyweight champions of mixed martial arts shows. And if you think you're the next Johnny Lawrence, go to their website at uclmma.com, shoot them an email and tell them John sent you before asking their matchmaker that you want to defend your All-Valley Karate Championship versus one of their fighters. That's uclmma.com.
Welcome back to Fighters Corner. John Goroski, Miguel Iturrate,
Hey.
and I am Mike Davis. Miguel, give us the headlines, brother. What are we talking about, MMA-wise?
Well, we've got the UFC 241 card coming right at us this weekend, and that's obviously on pay-per-view. And the headline there is a rematch. It's Stipe Miocic taking on Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight title. And, that's exciting news right there. That comes to us from California, the Honda Center in Anaheim. And that's Saturday, so check your local listings.
Yeah, what are the odds on that fight, Miguel?
They're real tight right now. Cormier is looking at minus 140, and I got Miocic playing back plus 120.
Okay. Like almost a coin toss.
Yeah, it's a coin toss. You know, the thing that we haven't seen yet is DC looking old. You know, at some point, like when people were talking about Triple G and Canelo, people were saying, you know what, Canelo's going to appear old tonight, or Triple G's going to appear old tonight. And whenever that like announcement kind of gets said, generally it follows it. And Daniel Cormier has looked fantastic up until this point in every single fight. But the sign, as John is what you like to say, the sand in the hourglass is slowly coming, to an end.
Let's lay the landscape down and go over a couple scenarios. What happens if Cormier wins? What does he do? Does he retire?
Miguel, what do you think he does?
I think at some point that they'll announce a retirement and they'll announce a comeback and that he'll fight John Jones. I just think that the UFC will push for that if Cormier wins, and they'll throw money at it to make it happen.
Okay, so he wins, he retires.
I hope he doesn't fight Jones. I really do. I'd rather have Jones miserable.
Well, he relinquishes the heavyweight title. Yeah. So what's next? You got Stipe Miocic again versus
Ngannou.
So Miocic would lose, and he would get an immediate rematch for for the heavyweight.
Well, what they would probably do is a 4-man tournament over two events.
With who? Who else?
Let's see. You got Ngannou. Who's hot right now?
Those are the top 2 guys.
You got Ngannou. You got Stipe.
You want to bring over Anthony Joshua to make it interesting?
In terms of heavyweights, oh man.
Yeah, the division. I mean, the division isn't really cut out right now for a 4-man tournament. It seems to be divided up into young up and comers and hopefuls, and then the old guard. You could toss Junior Dos Santos out there. He lost to Ngannou recently, but before that, he had looked real sharp.
Curtis Blade, and then he keeps getting smoked.
From there, you could take your pick. But I agree with you that Cormier wins. And, what we have is a pause. Like, we haven't moved on yet because, he may retire, but I think that the UFC will insist on the Jon Jones fight happening. And that's a weird fight because, there's been talk about doing it at 205, which would put, Cormier back in that weight class and stuff. So, there's a lot that works out. But I think after a retirement, in a year, 18 months, Cormier comes back to do that as a heavyweight.
There's no way let's put it this way. This guy's had a couple fights at heavyweight right now. Mm-hmm. He's 40 years old. Man, that weight gets harder and harder and harder to cut.
Yeah.
I think his days of 205 are over. Even if he wants them, to come back at some point, I just don't see it happening.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they do a catchweight at 225. You know what I mean?
What do you do? I mean, come on, bro. That's not for any title.
No, I mean, but I don't think this is about a title. Is it? If it was, then it would have already happened.
Well, I think Jon Jones. He wants him at 205. He wants DC at 205.
I don't think he's getting him at 205.
It'd be foolish.
I think that he wants him, but I don't think Cormier goes down to 205 to fight him. So I'm just offering a suggestion.
Well.
To me, it's not. In my opinion, it's not about belts. This is not. If there was,
this isn't about legacy. You don't think Jon Jones wants legacy?
He just said today he doesn't care about move up into the heavyweight division. Was he going to go down to middleweight?
That's a negotiating tactic.
Yeah, well, call it what you will, but until it happens, it hasn't happened yet. So I mean, I don't know. Jones, in my opinion, needs to go to heavyweight and get that belt. And right now is a perfect time because the heavyweight pool is shallow. You just said Arlovsky is going to...
I mean, it's just... Yeah. I mean, there's my response. Did you hear that audible noise? That's the response. Yeah. I mean, you got Curtis Blades that's been beat by Ngannou twice. Mm-hmm. All right.
He's got his number.
He's definitely got his number. So you throw him on one side, probably against Stipe, and you put Arlovsky versus, Ngannou. There you go. There's your 4-man. I mean, I don't think it's really deep. You got Junior Dos Santos who got smoked, against Ngannou.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now it's
and Ngannou against Arlovsky might actually qualify as dangerous.
I think Ngannou versus anybody. Like when he fought, Junior Dos Santos, I don't think he got touched in that fight. Mm-hmm. You always hear about what a beast he is until you see someone that you respect like JDS just gets socked up by him. Like, that was bad. That was ugly.
Yeah, it was. Miguel, what else we got on 241?
Well, the Cole features one that's probably getting as much attention as any of the other ones, right? Because you've got Nate Diaz taking on Anthony Pettis, and obviously that's the return of Nate Diaz.
It's 70, right?
He hasn't been seen in a while, so
I'm looking forward.
It's always news.
That's actually a really fun fight to watch, even though one of the competitors can make 145 pounds.
Right. I know, huh?
It just seems like a circus, Like when you really, it really kind of shines a light on weight classes. Mm-hmm. All right, I don't really want to cut weight. I'm just going to fight at 170. Give me a couple fights at 170 against top 10 guys, and he's potential favorite in that fight.
Yeah, two exciting fighters going up against each other in the octagon, I think, is going to translate into a very, very good fight. This to me has Fight of the Year candidate written all over it.
You know what, John? This has got pre-fight press conference of the year written all over it.
Yeah, watch out for that, man.
I'm in. Yeah. I'll watch that.
Yeah. I like the Diaz brothers. The UFC needs the Diaz brothers.
100%. And
Diaz brothers don't need the UFC.
Nah, sitting on the sidelines.
3 years. 3 years.
Can you blame them?
No, he got paid.
Well, I mean, he fought McGregor. He was waiting for the trilogy. And, I think he made $7 million on both fights, between the two, which is more than his brothers made in his entire career. And I think his brother's, certainly, more accomplished than he is. But at the end of the day, like, I would have sat too. Like, if I'm Nate Diaz's management, all right, let him do Floyd, let him do, Khabib.
Whatever.
Just sit. That trilogy has to happen.
I think eventually it will.
It has to.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it? You're split 1-1, and both of the fights were fantastic.
The UFC doesn't have a lot of big payday fights left, man. Well, I should say right now in the landscape. And I think this is one of them. And you got to force it. You know what I mean? Like you're think about this. The two most intriguing bouts right now in the UFC are the third fight of a trilogy. You got Cormier versus Jones and Diaz versus McGregor. Those two are probably the top two fights that draw the most interest in the UFC right now.
My personal most interest fight is something that's not even on the books, and that's Tony Ferguson and Khabib.
I would welcome that.
I would pay for that.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to.
Yeah. Would you not though?
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
Would you not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I think Ferguson beats him. I think Khabib beats Poirier.
Let me be clear, Mike. Let's be clear. You will pay for the pay-per-view. I don't think that you're going to lay out the purses for both guys.
No, that's true. Yeah, but please, that's true. Thank you, Dana.
I don't know, man. I think Khabib beats.
So you don't get the call.
Thanks, Miguel. Yeah. Yo, you watched it last night, right? Yeah. No, this is Ari. Yeah, just send the check over. Money order, preferably. Just go to the Western Union down the corner.
Miguel, what are the odds for that bout for Diaz and Pettis?
Right now, that's even tighter than Cormier and Miocic. Pettis is a minus 125 favorite, and Diaz is at plus 105. So it's really a pick 'em fight.
You know what I would do? I would put $209 down on Nate Diaz.
Where at?
BetDSI.com or
would you use a promo code?
BetDSI.eu, and I would use promo code Fighters Corner.
Wait, what happens when you do that?
Well, you get double your money.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Up to how much?
Up to
500, dude.
Is that what it is?
It's 500.
Yeah, $500.
What?
There you go. I would do. So $209 turns into $418.
Wait. Yeah, you're right on that. You're right.
Carry the one.
Yeah. We just ran out of toes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got an abacus in the back somewhere, but yeah, no, you know what, dude? It's going to be a really, really entertaining fight. And actually, this card from top to bottom, I think, is a very well put together bout.
Yeah.
Miguel, what else do we got in that card? We got Paulo Costa going up against somebody. What's that one about?
Paulo Costa is taking on one of our favorites here, and that's Romero.
That's my
Romero
guy.
Returning, and Romero minus 145 favorite, Paulo Costa plus 125 underdog. So that gives you an idea there that they're tight on all the lines across the top of this card.
You know what? I actually really would bet money on Paulo Costa.
I would bet money on Paulo Costa not passing a regular USADA test.
We're not talking.
But that's not what this is about.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
12-0 and 12 finishes, man. I think that's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never fought a guy like Yoel, but I think if I were to put money on it, I would put money on Paulo Costa. I'm actually looking forward to that.
It's hard to bet against Yoel, but like DC,
it is.
He's getting old.
But that's what that's what you want to see in a card like this.
Can you imagine Yoel Romero at 23, 24 years old?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you mean 16, 17?
Yeah. 23, 24 years old. I mean, that guy was probably the baddest man in the world, and no one knew his name.
At 23,
outside of the
24?
wrestling community. Yeah.
I think telephone books are still around during that time. So when so you figured you got the those three bouts that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. They're all within like a coin flip of who's going to win or who's going to lose.
That's fantastic.
That's what you want, though.
Yeah.
That's the makings of a very, very good card for the UFC.
That's the difference between the world of boxing and the world of MMA.
Yeah.
Like when you've got one dominant organization that sets the price, and you're not worried about some alphabet belt telling you what to do, you get fights like that. And you know what, man? Like it keeps me buying it. I mean, At this point, I'm freaking broke from all the pay-per-views between boxing and MMA that I keep purchasing.
And I think a lot of people are going to start canceling their DAZN subscription. What do they got lined up right now?
Nothing. Hot garbage.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just the Ruiz fight against Joshua. That's when I bought it. I don't think I've watched it since.
Yeah.
Is Canelo Alvarez coming up? What's he got coming? Anything?
Canelo's still negotiating right now. He had talked about moving up to 176 for a belt grab kind of thing, but right now everything's up in the air.
Yeah,
and
that's boxing.
Nothing is set there.
Yeah, and that's boxing. MMA wise, they're showing Bellators, but in terms of like news and stuff like that, how often do we even cover Bellator?
Right.
Once or twice. We've done about 30 of these.
Right, huh? Dude, it is incredible. It is absolutely fucking incredible. So, Mike, I got something else for you. Who's the bantamweight champion right now in the UFC?
Oh, man, dude. They call him the king of cringe, Henry Cejudo. He does magic tricks. He looks weird. He breathes real heavy. Why?
Bantamweight and flyweight. So he's got two belts, and he's looking for a third. You want to guess which weight class he wants to move up to or move down to?
Miguel, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I got enough of the big mouth wrestlers with Bellator's run with Joe Warren, so I really haven't been paying much attention to Henry Cejudo after he won the fight. Terrific job in the ring. Kudos. But, once he says that he wants to be paid like a heavyweight, it's going to be up in the air before we, where we see him next. The UFC seems to want to move him back into a 125-pound title defense. And, yes, I think, he's talked about moving up to face Max Holloway, which I don't know if that's going to be a good idea for Henry.
Well, I think there's also something else that he has in mind.
Well, he according to what he said, okay, and this guy I think is...
What, a media genius? What, John? What are you thinking?
I don't know, man.
Your friend? What? Someone you'd like to hang out with? What? Where are you going with this?
This guy wants to be the first. Are you listening, Miguel? Are you sitting down? I don't want you're not driving anything like that, because if you end up killing yourself because you passed out behind the wheel, we have no way to find you or rescue you, all right? But I just want to make sure you're sitting down, because if this goes silent for a few seconds, I know you've passed out.
We're going to call off whatever that is.
But he wants to be, and I quote, the first intergender champion by calling out the women's flyweight champion.
To his defense, I have always questioned his gender identity, based on his antics at weigh-ins. To his defense.
Well, I will say this. Alexander Shevchenko might beat the living crap out of him.
I think so, too.
Yeah, she is a beast, but I'll tell you what, they allow trained athletes.
That's actually, in all seriousness, and I apologize for cutting you off, but in all seriousness, Henry Cejudo should be embarrassed. His parents should call him up and be like, no.
Embarrassed why?
No.
Why? He can't compete against women?
For calling out a woman?
What happens if he identifies as a woman, Miguel?
The fact of the matter is if a woman wants to compete with a man, circumstances are there. Yeah, I see it as a challenge for the woman athlete, and that's why you would do it in sport in some way, even though it usually doesn't go that well, and the competitor wouldn't be a top-level male, right?
Well, Miguel,
Judo is a top-level male moving, into that, so he should be dominant, and, that's the equivalent of, calling out somebody just, a B-class athlete, somebody who wrestles in high school, and Cejudo was like, I want to wrestle that guy, it's not, wow. We already know it's not a parallel play field, so he's a fool.
Now, wait a minute, Miguel. Wait a minute. So, you must not be woke, okay? Because myself, who is, up on all, first off, I prefer he, him pronouns. Yeah. And I will say, unlike yourselves, I am thinking that as long as right before his first day of training, he identifies as a woman, takes some sort of testosterone blocker, I don't know, for 3 weeks, that it'd be a level playing field and it'd be a fair fight, and he could be actually the first intergender champion, which I think would be fantastic.
Shevchenko still smokes him, though. Or still smokes him.
No. Zer is what you're looking for.
Okay, all right.
Does anyone believe that bullshit? Honestly, like I know this is like one of those things that come back and haunt me years later. Man, ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous.
I agree with you, Miguel. I think he should be in
20 years ago, this is going to be used against me. Keep in mind.
But again, the idea of competition is that there's a challenge involved there. If not, you're doing exhibitions, really.
Yeah.
And the level of between a male and a female of equal, size and things like that is proven to be scientifically different. So, it doesn't amount to a challenge for Henry Cejudo. If Shevchenko were to take the fight and win, she'd be, one of the elite athletes of all time kind of thing, because she would really be facing a challenge of fighting a man of her size.
Right.
But, it doesn't work the other way, Henry. You look more like, he's short, so maybe he just wants to wear high heels.
Well, I think he'd be a fantastic looking woman. That's just my personal opinion, and I don't care what you guys say. I will tell the audience out there that Mike is an expert on that, so you should take his opinion. Absolutely. I could see him in a cocktail dress. I'd have him on my arm at I got a wedding coming up. Absolutely. I'd love to go with him. One bed in that hotel room, too.
Hopefully you'll wear that helmet he wears.
That's what I would ask. No. Just one bed in our hotel room. One. No pull-out couch, nothing. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Ain't nobody pulling out that night.
Nuh-uh. For sure. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. Miguelito, muchísimas gracias por todo tu ayuda. And serious, man, we always love you having you on, giving us the news, Miguel. Appreciate it, buddy.
Take it easy, bud.
Well, I appreciate your guys' time. Always a nice platform here, and we always get to have some fun, too. So definitely hit like and subscribe, everyone out there.
Yep, be good.